What's up guys, DIY Salvage Guy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode, we're going to be taking apart the interior of the S5 and we're going to get those seat belts out. So you guys saw me start on that a little bit ago in the last episode, and we started with the front and we got the center console ripped out, even though we didn't need to because the airbag module was actually still good. But this time we do have to actually rip apart the entire back seat and the seat to come out, and we're going to wrestle with the actual seat belts a little bit because there's trim pieces that need to come out that the seat belts are actually locked in over. And if anyone has any idea as to why the seat belt's actually locked up, let me know. If you guys are new here, I really appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully you guys will consider liking, subscribing, throwing me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff. To all my returning viewers and subscribers, thank you guys so much for being here and continuing to support me. And also, make sure you guys have your post notifications on. That way you guys stay up to date on the build and everything else that goes on in this channel. And also, make sure you guys are following me over on Instagram. We've got a link right down here, because I do post things on there quicker than it makes its way over to YouTube. So now we're going to try to take this trim off. We got to get to that rear seat belt tensioner. We got to do it on both sides. Now the manual itself says that we need to remove basically this entire thing. So it says we got to remove this, we have to remove this, we got to remove this, we got to remove this, then we can start removing this. But I'm going to see if we can just pop this out. If this stuff doesn't come off, then we'll start doing all this removal and stuff. But this looks like it's above this, so I don't understand why I'd have to take that off. So we're going to see what we can do right now. So that's the side piece. Came off pretty easily. We got our speakers behind there. Now we'll see what else we got to pull off. Next thing we're going to do, it says, is take off the rear seat itself. So we're just going to move this trim up here, get these tools out of the way. Just give it a quick pull. And pops right out. We got to get that seat padding off. So it looks like there's a 10mm bolt down here. Anytime you're working with bolts, make sure you take them off, put them in a bag. That way you don't lose them. Label them. So then it looks like the next thing we got to do is pull this out, which is going to be tough with the seat belt locked in over it. Got some Jersey pizza for lunch here, guys. Check this out. Some of the best pizza around. Anywhere in the country, put Jersey pizza up against it. Love this stuff. Quick lunch break, back to the build. So we can't get this actually off because it's stuck in the belt itself. So I'm going to see if I can just move this and get that bolt out down below, and then we'll thread it out. So slight change of plans here. Since I can't get this out, and this bolt down here is on the other side of the seatbelt, so it's going to be right on the other side of this. Because the seatbelt is locked up, I can't spin that around, so I can't get to that bolt. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove the tensioner first. But what we need to do with that is we need to switch the ignition on. Then we need to actually disconnect the battery itself at the negative cable, because I guess when you're dealing with the pyrotechnics in the vehicle, that's what the manual says to do. So if you guys are ever taking apart a car, airbags or anything like that, we did that with the airbags, and we're going to do the same thing with this as well. Fold this seat down and we'll be able to get back there. Alright, so we got the ignition on. We're going to come back here, disconnect the cable. Now this is still loose from when I did it on the airbag, so this should come right off. I'm going to tuck it under and away so that it doesn't reconnect. And then we're going to take that bolt off. So we'll get that seat down. And then you got the airbag or the seatbelt tensioner right there. We should be able to access that bolt. We got to take that little clip off, and then we'll take the tensioner off. That will give us a little bit of slack to hopefully do what we need to do in order to get the bottom seatbelt bolt off. So now that we have the ignition off, we're going to take a little clip. So there's this red tab on here that same thing as the battery fuse, so we're just going to pull this up. So that comes up. We should be able to just pull this out. So we got that bolt out. We have a little extra slack to play with, and we'll take the bolt off. So we got the seatbelt tensioner out, whole seatbelt assembly all together. So we're going to see if we can either replace this or ship it out to a company. So I'm going to get the internals redone. It should be cheaper to do that than replacing the whole thing, but now that we have it out, we'll look up some part numbers and we'll see what we can do with it. So we also have a good view of the inside of the vehicle as well. We might be able to take some more off in order to pound out that quarter panel. I gotta look into it a little bit more, but thinking I'm probably just going to replace the quarter panel, but we still have to see. So we got it off on the driver's side. The exact same procedure is going to be used on the passenger side. So I'm just going to throw this whole thing through a time lapse. We're going to take the sill off, the side frame, all that trim. We're probably going to have a hard time getting off that side panel as well, and you know, just little by little. So I'm just going to throw this in a time lapse and get this done. So I was able to get both sides out. This side was just as much a pain in the butt as the other side, with the seatbelt being locked up. I don't really know if there's a better way to do it, but I had to use some trim removal tools and basically just fed the seatbelt over to the side. And it was tough, but you know, I got it off. I'm definitely calling it a day here. We are going to put the top up. Hopefully it grows up and there's no issues. And we're gonna go sit in the air conditioning because it's about 95 degrees outside. Been out here for about 8 hours so far,
and it's just too much right now. So yeah, so you guys saw the seat come out, you saw the airbag control module be replaced, we got these seat belts being replaced now. So we're going to send those out, do a little bit of research, and find out what the best way to go with these getting these seat belts done again. So what we got to do now is we have to check out the actual suspension. So we're going to pop this tire off and we're going to see what kind of suspension damage we have under there. When we were taking it for a test drive, we noticed that it was pulling a little bit to the left, and it looks like this is pushed back a little bit. So chances are there's probably bent control arm or something in there. Hoping the axle isn't bent. I can't imagine that it is. It's probably just a control arm, but we're going to pop that tire off and see what's going on under there. Next thing we need to do is see what kind of damage control we can do with this quarter panel. So we have some pretty significant damage over here. Nothing too crazy, I don't think. Since this is steel, I think that this can be pulled out with some welds. Weld some studs on there and then pull it out, hammer it. But the problem is that this is obviously welded on totally, so I can't get it off. I don't have the welding skills or anything like that. I do need to kind of gain some experience in that area, because if I am going to get better at this, I'm going to have to learn how to weld and do that stuff. But I'm going to pop this wheel off as well and remove that tire liner and see what kind of access we have into there, because if we have access into there, we should be able to actually pop this off and then be able to hammer it out and pull it out and get a hammer and dolly in there, and we might be able to actually make some pretty good progress with it. Alright, so we got the tire off. Just going to inspect this all. So this doesn't look bad. You got the tie rod, the outer tie rod looks alright, not really bent or anything. You have the control arm, doesn't look bad either. Looks to be straight. That's your front forward, and then here's your front rearward, and this is where I think the problem is. So you guys can see that that is kind of tilted. It's leaning to the right a little bit, and I think that's what's going to be causing our issue. So this whole control arm is probably bent a little bit more than it should be. Then you have your uppers. Uppers look to be all right. I can't tell if this is bent or if it's part of the design or not. But I'm probably just going to replace this entire front suspension. Get a pretty good deal on it, probably like $300 to do it all, so we'll probably just do that. So after looking at this a little bit and taking off some of these trim pieces, there's not a lot of access and a lot of room, but it looks like there is going to be the opportunity to get something in here. So it looks like if I can take this mirror or window out, I should be able to either maybe get a slap hammer or a dolly or something in there, and maybe be able to hammer some of this out. That mixed with a glue pulling kit, I think I should be able to get all this damage out, at least here. And then when we get down there, we might have to do some other things. But right now, pretty optimistic about that. So we got to just see how we get this window out, and maybe we'll do some research and we'll save this for the weekend, because we have limited amount of time to do this during the week. And once the windows are down, you know, possibility of rain, stuff like that. So as I was saying yesterday, we're gonna have to remove this window in order to gain some access into there. It looks like we're gonna have a decent amount of access. We just need to get this off, and we're also gonna have to take this belt feeder motor off right down here, and then we'll see what else we got to get off. But if we can get this piece off and that window out, I think we'll be pretty good in order to get any tools in there that we need to hammer out that quarter panel. So we got the middle piece off. You can see the kind of access that we're gaining right now. So we have probably about like 4 or 5 inches in there, and so hopefully we can get some tools in there. Just got to get this window out now, so we'll take care of that now. Alright guys, so we got the entire window assembly out. Parts manual told me to take the glass off, then take the assembly out itself, but I couldn't get the glass out, and it kind of worked out anyway, because getting the assembly out with the glass connected to it was a lot easier. So now we have a good amount of access to get in there and start pounding out this quarter panel and seeing what kind of damage we can take out of here. So you guys can see right in there. Let's see if I can focus on that. So you can see a couple of the dents in there. Camera's not focusing, but so we're gonna maybe take this off and see what kind of damage repair we can do.
That's going to do it for today's episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit. You guys got to see me struggle a little bit getting everything out, but eventually we did get the seatbelts out, and we were able to send them out, and we're going to install them again when we get them back. So it's going to be about $100 to get this done, so definitely worth it to send them out and get them refurbished in order to get the vehicle to have the airbag codes kind of deleted. So if you guys are new here, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the channel. Make sure you guys check out the A7 build, because that's complete as of now. So hopefully you guys will consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you guys comment down below. Make sure you guys have that post notification on, and also make sure you guys are following me over on Instagram, because I do post things on there quicker than it makes its way over to YouTube. So all my returning viewers and subscribers, thank you guys so much for being here and continuing to support me. Hope that you guys will just be inspired by this and just pick up a wrench, buy a car, do whatever you need to do. Just try to become a DIY salvage guy yourself.